Hello, my sewing friends. Here I have for you an updated, yet again, sewing room tour. I'm Jen, and this is my sewing room, which has changed a lot in the last 6 months. And I thought I'd show you the ways that I've changed it to improve the storage largely, but also the ergonomics, just the space allocation, you know, all those fancy words that say I need more places to put things. Yeah. Well, I did a sewing room tour a while ago. It's right up here linked. And so in that one, I took you kind of all the way around the room. But this time I thought what I would do is instead just point out the things that have changed, that's certain elements. And I'm going to start with my Flexispot Kana bamboo standing desk. This thing is amazing for me because it's so big. It's 72 by 30 and it adjusts to go up and down. So I can sew standing up or I can sew sitting down. I currently have it set at 28 inches, but it'll go up to 40 inches for me. And if you are tall, it'll go up to 50 inches in total. This isn't just a sewing machine table for me. It's also additional workspace. I can cut out a pattern or I can trace off a pattern without killing my back because it will adjust to exactly the right height for what I need. I've done a review on this, a complete review. So you can check that out right up here where I will talk about all of the specific features that make this such a great table. But mainly what I want to tell you about now is that Flexispot is having a big sale. On September 7th through the 9th, they're having their big Tech Day sale. And I gotta tell you, the prices won't be this good again until Black Friday. They're also celebrating their 6th brand anniversary. So if you're in the market for one of these, or even if you're looking for accessories, chairs, even beds, I would encourage you to go over to their website. I'm gonna link all the information in the description box below. So just click on the link, it'll take you to this table and you can really explore their website and just see all the great things that they have to offer. I guarantee you, it is worth a look. Flexispot sponsored this video and I'm really grateful for that. So have a look, you might see something you like. Next up, I want to tell you about my chair. My chair is from the Container Store and it is a bungee chair. These are all bungee cords. And I saw this chair initially on Whitney's channel from Tomcat Stitchery and I messaged her and said, hey, do you like your chair? And she said, yes, I love my chair. And I thought, it just looks like it would give me the perfect amount of support. And so my only problem with it is that it leaves marks on my legs. So I have this wonderful pillow that was given to me by my friend Heather at a Sewcation, and I use that. But I gotta tell you, I love this chair. It moves quickly. It has no arms because I didn't want arms. They always get in my way. It will fly across this solid surface. So I have to be careful when I sit down that I don't go flying. But I have to tell you, I really like it. It comes in a lot of colors too. I just got the blue because I like blue. So next thing I want to tell you about is this calyx unit behind me. I got this to replace 2 9-cube storage units, kind of like bookshelves. And they were only about 11 and maybe 3/4 inches square. Well, I had my patterns in them and they just weren't enough. I kept buying patterns and so the only solution was either quit buying patterns or get more storage. Well, this is amazing because I got the biggest one. I got it 5 across by 5 high, and those bins hold half again as much as the old bins held. So moving everything into there was fabulous because now I have not just enough to hold my patterns, but this whole top row, that's not patterns. The whole bottom row, that's not patterns. So much more storage. I highly recommend, if you're going to get one of these kind of cube things, get a big one. Get either the calyx. I think Better Homes and Gardens makes a bigger one, but they are so much better for more storage than what you would get in one of these, which I used 4 of the 9 cube ones to make my table. Previously, I had half the table, which was fabric, half the table was patterns. Now, all of the table is fabric. So let me show you what's in these bins.
So here's a look at the whole thing. These bins are more like 13 by 15, 13 wide by 15 deep. And so clearly they are going to hold a whole lot more storage. On the top, I just wanted it pretty. So there's my homage to Star Wars, my favorite Bible scripture, and just some odd and end things that I didn't have anywhere else to put. Here are my boxes for bias tape, elastic, zippers, and lace. Got those boxes at IKEA years ago. In this bin, that green box has drapery stuff in it, and the rest is just crafts. And then here is an example of what the pattern boxes look like. I could only get 1 line of those in the old boxes, but now I've got almost double the storage. So after the patterns end, in this box, I just have some Dollar Tree items and also ribbing for sweatshirts, t-shirts, that kind of thing, and the last of the indie patterns. Then I've got a whole box of UFOs and refashions and mending and that kind of thing, things that need my attention. On the bottom row, I have my Letterlow system, my old Sloper system, I've got snaps, I've got page protectors, and I've got a whole lot of burner covers, which I'll tell you about why I have that later. Then I have all my paper. This is envelopes that I put my patterns in, leftover tissue paper from when I was tracing a pattern. I've got leftover cut foam core boards to wrap fabric on. That's just extra stuff. Then in this one, I've got a pattern for some like covers for a sewing machine and that kind of thing, and unfinished nativity sets, which someday I will get to. Maybe this Christmas I'll get those done. Then I've got a whole drawer full of tablecloths, mostly, for circle skirts. And I even have 1 shower curtain stuck in there for packing cubes that I want to make. Someday. I'll get to these craft things someday. And then this last box is Michaela's box, and that's her little box of notions. That's a dress that she needs to have redone, and that's a curtain too, a valance that I don't know what else to do with, so it's in that box too. And that's the Calyx unit.
Back to my sewing machine table.
I love that I can put things like plants, an old desk lamp that was left over from an office redo of my husband's, that little tiny fan that's so helpful. All my little notions are right there. I've got my machine pincushions from Inspired Leather, which is Madi from Madi Sews. I have magnifying glasses, every seam ripper in the world, thread snips, and tweezers for my serger. I've got pins and snips beside my machines. This little Dollar Tree hack, this little turntable Lazy Susan thing is the greatest thing. It's just 2 burner covers with some beads in between. And you put one on top of the other and spin it. Isn't that great? Then I've got my mugs, my Dorset mug from Carole from So Carole. And then I've got my mug that Trish's mom, Faye, gave me. It says, all I need today is a little bit of coffee and a whole lot of Jesus.
Now this is my other Calyx unit. I previously had 2 of those 9 cube storage units, and there just wasn't enough space. So I decided to go with this one. Let me give you a closer look.
On top is all the pretty stuff. Bird fabric from Trish, my little patch from Adam, my Singer Featherweight, my pin dish from my daughter who does pottery, my Singer 99, and an ink on canvas that was done for me by a college roommate. These are all my pattern catalog books, and then my sewing books, and then home decorating books, and then machine manuals and a Wawak catalog. Underneath our behind this door is ribbon. That's all my ribbon that I just store in those little baskets from the Dollar Tree. And then in this drawer, I have just odds and ends. There's embroidery floss, there's some stuff left over from Christmas, a button box. Then I've got art supplies here. And then over in this drawer, I have quilting supplies. Also some labels from packages that have been sent to me so that I can say thank you. And glue. This is all manner of glue. I have a lot of glue. I need to glue a lot of things, apparently. And then in here I have a knitting bag that was given to me by Michelle from Michelle Sews Again, and some camera equipment. Over here is my laundry bin that used to hold my scraps, but now it has interfacing, a roll of denim, my tracing paper, and all of my indie patterns that I have had printed. And there's an old wooden yardstick hanging back there.
Over here is my new pressing station. This I did because I didn't have a good amount of storage underneath my ironing board, which I absolutely love. But it's in the garage because, you know what, it just wasn't serving my needs, and I needed a space where it had storage underneath and yet still pressing area on top. So this is just one of those 9-cube units that I was using previously before I got the Calyx units. So I painted it because it wasn't white, and then I put all of my scraps in. So this worked great. Now I have to say, I'm gonna have to start either using them or throwing some away because this is really full, and I'm not sure I could cram any more things in there. I just painted this, and then I put a piece of board. Actually, my neighbor had a piece of board, and so I cut it to size. It's a little bit bigger than the top. It's about a 2-inch overhang. And then all I did was take the old ironing board covers, a couple of them, and I put them on top of the board, stapled them on, and then I covered it again with a piece of fabric. So easy to do. Listen, if you can wrap a fabric onto a bolt, you can do this. All it is, the only difference is you use a staple gun. That's really it. Now here, above my scraps, another big deal thing to me was I wanted to be able to see all of my thread, but I did not want my regular spools of thread to be taking up space on my pegboard. So I looked and looked for a solution, and then I finally decided, you know what, I'm just gonna get Lazy Susans, the 2-level Lazy Susans, which I found on Amazon for a little bit of nothing, and I was able to fit all of my thread. It's so much easier. I can see it all, it's nicely displayed, and I don't have to work to find what I need. So I love that. I have another little cart over here, right here, and it has my tank from my Reliable iron, my steam iron, which I love because I don't have to refill it all the time. And then under that are just pressing things, you know. Here is my pegboard ball. Now this was already here, but I've redesigned it so that I have all of my serger thread, but then I have just something pretty. I just wanted to kind of lighten things up in here and make them pretty. So that's why I took the time to make space for that, so that when I look around, I am pleased by what I see and inspired to a large degree because things are pretty. So I have flowers here. This is a little pincushion. If you'd like one of these, go to Adam from Adam Sews, his website. I'll link it below. He makes them and you can buy one. This is a box I got from my wonderful friend Carole, who lives in Dorset, England, not very far from Adam, actually. She has a channel called Sew Carole. Again, I'll link it below. And then just some boxes, other things that I need. This is mostly rubber bands for when I'm rolling a scrap piece of fabric.
The rest of this wall holds my scissors, my Raiders license plate. This is interfacing, actually, on a roll, and then I've got steam and I've got interfacing pieces, both woven and knit, in some Ziploc bags. So I'm really happy to have this. It's a huge improvement over what I had before. And finally, star of the show is my cutting table. It is the star of the room and around which everything is located. It's in the center of my room. It's on wheels, and it's made from 4 of these 9-cube storage units, and
an old closet door that I cut down to 5x3, trimmed it out with some trim, put cork on top, and it has 2 cutting mats. It's a great table. It's great for being able to cut things out. It's a great work table. I've got all kinds of measuring things on it. Here's what it looks like from the doorway. These are all knit prints, and then kind of some leftover things that I didn't have any more space for. These are all solid knits. Over here on the other side, these aren't more measuring. All my cotton prints. And over here, I have all my solid wovens, except for those, which are kind of like crepe de chines and stuff.
All my artwork has also changed. These are photographs of the space shuttle launch and also my little Atlantis keychain. And then on the other wall, we've got a drawing that was done by my daughter, who is not an artist, but she had to do this for a class. And I said, oh, I love that. So she gave it to me for Mother's Day one year. Then over in the corner, I have a couple of patterns that I did put them together when I was very, very young. And then next to those, I have a painting of my boy Indy, who was our family dog for many years. Jenna painted that for me, and we loved him.
So, my sewing friends, that's my room. I love this room. It's just my happy place, obviously. And while I would like to paint the walls eventually, I have more sewing to do than I can foresee getting done in the near future. So yeah, it's okay for now. So I hope this has given you some inspiration, maybe some ideas for your own sewing space, ways to use space more efficiently. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I will see you next time. As always, if you'd like to see a complete playlist of my sewing room tours from the very beginning, changing rooms, doing it, redoing it, and now, check right over here. There will be a playlist. I want to leave you with this from Micah, which is always at the bottom of the screen. Do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. It's something I want to do every single day, and I hope you do too.